How's it going, everyone? Welcome. Hopefully everything is sounding good. Got a little bit different mic setup. It's still the same mic. I'm just using a smaller stand, so it's kind of off camera. I don't know. Hopefully it's hopefully it's looking good. Let me get the chat up, because again my chat is not working the way I want it to be. So let me pop open this chat here from YouTube. I love you, YouTube. I also hate you sometimes. All right. A blank green screen. Yeah, I was recording a video that's going to be coming out tonight, and I'm using a green screen in it, so the green screen's still up. I mean, I guess I could throw something on the background, but who really cares right now? Just an impromptu live stream. All right. Namahamaha over on Twitch. Nice to see you. Don't even know how many people are watching because YouTube's not listening to me. So, how's it going, Fire Falcon X, Gamer Pond, Joel Putz, Derpy McSquirtle, Fire Falcon X, I guess I already said that, Corey Bohm, G.J. Clinch, does that say it right? Koopa Troopa Poopa, M. The Moon, Senpai Sama, let's see here, Joel Pa, I already said the Sweet Life of Dio Brando, How Vitor, throw something on it. Oh, let's see what I could do. Throw something on it. Let me see here. What's this? Let me see what this image is. Nope, that's not it. I don't really have the setup to even use the green screen. Let me see. I could throw something on the green screen. Let me see what I got here. Add new source. I don't even know if I got anything to toss back there. No, that's not what I want to do. I guess I could just use this. Done. Hold on. I'll make this work here in a second. Alright, expand it like that. And then go my video capture device. Filters. Cool. So there you go. That's what it looks like when I use the green screen. Something like that. And yes, my chair is green. That's why you can like see through it. All right. Oh, you know what? That was a good idea. Playing a video. I really need to eventually get a third monitor hooked up just so I could put like videos or like stuff I want playing in the background of streams. And my son is just yelling. Go to bed, buddy. Need to go to sleep. Early bed tonight. He's been up since like 3 a.m. So he's pretty cranky. Oh boy. Hopefully he stops crying soon. All right. I don't know about you guys. It's annoying for me, but I think he'll stop soon. All right. Let me see here. What are people saying? I haven't even said anything yet, and people are just a new tech channel in the link. A new tech channel. What? Oh, you mean my other channel? Is that what you're referring to? My other channel that I don't use? That basically doesn't exist because I don't use it? Tech gaming, whatever. All right. Oh, I think we could just get into what we're going to talk about tonight. It will eventually devolve into a Q&A, but let's just talk, shall we? Get some thoughts off my mind, get your guys' thoughts on things. If you guys didn't see a community post I put up earlier today, I guess I'll just go over everything, probably some additional things in addition to that community post. So you can go check it out if you want, talking about the future of the channel. I want to start off by saying that I was glancing around for my Switch. Oh, here it is. Ugh. There it is. I was glancing around for this bad boy. So first off, I want to say that I love Nintendo. I think I feel comfortable enough saying that. It feels weird to say that about a company that is a for-profit business that doesn't really benefit my life in that sort of way. It drains my wallet, and but I get a lot of joy out of playing their games. I enjoy some of their systems in particular. I really just enjoy some of the convenience. Obviously, things like the Switch, other handheld systems in particular have been really convenient. I liked what they did with Wii, doing something different. I think Labo VR is kind of a really interesting concept for like an intro to VR sort of situation for children. Honestly, I like a lot of things that Nintendo does, and as critical as I am at times of Nintendo, I'm probably less critical than someone who just straight up doesn't like Nintendo. There are plenty of people out there, be that Xbox or Sony or PC or mobile phone, or just people who get a kick out of riling people up, who won't have anything positive to say about Nintendo really ever. I mean, you see some of them in my comments where regardless of what the video is, whether it's me criticizing Nintendo or me praising Nintendo, they're there bringing up the exact same complaints they bring up in every single video. How Switch has no games, or Switch this, or Nintendo is a scummy company, needs to go third party, and blah, 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 all this stuff. And because I love and enjoy Nintendo so much, those aren't the kind of remarks you see out of me, because I just don't share in those criticisms. And the thing is with this channel is I have no desire to not talk about Nintendo. I think that's a good way to put it right now. I have no desire to not talk about Nintendo. I love Nintendo, and I'm going to continue to talk about Nintendo probably till the day I die, whether it's here on YouTube, whether it's with my friends or my kids or whoever. I've been talking about Nintendo long before I was a YouTuber. I'm going to talk about Nintendo long after I retire from YouTube, whenever that is. I really enjoy talking about Nintendo. I enjoy putting my opinions and my thoughts out there about Nintendo. But some things have cropped up, and maybe I'll show you some of them here if YouTube will agree with me today, or with Streamlabs will agree with me today, which sometimes it doesn't. And I apologize, I'm not really reading the chat much right in this moment, but you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Let me bring up this video. Mute. Thank you. All right. Let me bring up my display capture here. I forgot I have a crop on that display capture. Filters, turn off the crop. All right. No. Let's just go over it like this. All right. We're going to zoom in. I know you guys can't see anything yet. Just give me a second. All right. So this is the latest episode of Prime News, right? Prime News finally came back. It's been gone for over a month. Prime News was a daily, then became an every 3 days, and now is a weekly news show. It recaps all of the Nintendo news, the 10 top stories, 10 in particular. I always have 10. Sometimes there's 11 and 12, but there's always 10 stories that I recap from the past week. And if I have to squeeze in some smaller stories that I don't care too much about to hit 10, I will. But in general, I usually have at least 10 particular things I want to highlight at the end of the week, briefly talk about, bring up, have a little fun with it, have a little comedy, just kind of be out there and just be myself and enjoy it. And I think it really comes through in my Prime News videos, how much I enjoy not only getting the topics for those videos, but recording those videos and editing those videos, and I just have a lot of fun all around doing it. And it's also a very high production video compared to something even like this live stream. It's very high production. Takes me a lot of time to do. It's at least 3 hours per episode. It's between research and shooting and editing, it's at least 3 hours, which like a standard video where I'm just sitting here in this chair talking to you guys, I could bang one of those out in like an hour. Versus one of those videos that takes much more editing, the editorial type videos that takes obviously a lot of scripting and a lot of research and a lot of, obviously, if I'm like talking like today, my editorial for this week was talking about Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Obviously that required a lot of gameplay and a lot of other stuff to talk about that. But what's interesting when and before I dive too deep, I've been gone the last 3 days. I know a couple videos went out, but I had those done before I left. I was on vacation with my family, right? We went to the Wisconsin Dells. We had a good time. I didn't check YouTube. I didn't check my emails. I just literally, I turned the internet off. The only thing I even went on my phone to do was to watch some episodes of Game of Thrones because the hotel didn't have premium channels or on demand. So I watched some episodes of Game of Thrones on Amazon Prime. Otherwise, I just didn't look at the internet this weekend. And one thing that caught my eye as Friday or Saturday morning before we left, when I was still checking things because I was finalizing videos, I was reading comments on this video. And then I read some comments again when I got back. And it's interesting reading some of these comments and seeing what people had to say about this video in particular. You have Alexander Detless. I like this format. Morrison22, this format is way better than anything you have done. Excellent work, to the point, with pictures, A+. I mentioned I like making the video. Joel Putz, who's here, mentioned that he likes it as well. I don't have 5 killer stories per day, blah, blah, blah. The hair looks good. Prime News episode was awesome. I really liked it. Generally, just a lot of positivity around. I mean, even someone poking fun at the thumbnail a bit. Wishing me the best of private life, Nintendo, stuff like this. So it's I even had the breast milk joke in there. Someone obviously got that joke. So there's just been a lot of people saying that they really like Higher Flower here. You know, Nate's content is getting better and better. Progress is the mark of a true artist. Keep it up. I think I responded to this. No, I didn't. Seamus' haircut got worse. So yeah, I responded to the haircut comment. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's cool if you don't like my haircut. Today my hair's down. Like, this is what my hair normally looks like if I don't do anything to it. Anyways, people just talking about the news. Great video, etc., etc., etc. Right. So this was a thing that I saw that feedback, and this isn't the first time I've seen it on a Prime News episode. I went back today through several other Prime News videos over the past few months, which encompasses most of them, and everyone loves Prime News, or most people do. There's always a few dissenters that are like, "Oh, I don't like your dry humor or your comedic approach or whatever. Or I don't like this. I don't like that. The topics are weak this week. Whatever." The point I'm getting at is I see a lot of comments about how much people like this content, and I know how much I like making that content. I had a fan mail. Oh, where did I put it? Well, anyways, when I did that last Nate's stuff, there was in the fan letter, and that fan letter in there, the guy wrote that he would like to see Prime News every day. Prime News will never be 7 days a week, I can tell you that. But I like content like Prime News because I don't want to say it's unique to the channel. Obviously Prime News has had a ton of comparisons to things like Spawn Wave and their News Wave show. I'm not like oblivious to the fact that that's a thing that exists, and that's a thing that people compare my Prime News stuff to. I'm not stupid, is what I'm saying. I'm well aware what people think I get my inspiration from the show, which I really don't get my inspiration from what he does at all. My inspiration is actually just a kind of a collective of me and what I want to do, combined with inspiration from people like Philip DeFranco, but I don't want to do it the way Philip DeFranco does, but I don't want to do it the way Spawn Wave necessarily does. I don't want to do it the way that anyone necessarily does. Obviously, I'm presenting a bunch of topics, but I want to be to the point. Like, I have 10 topics. I want to make it, a quick minute, ish per topic, sometimes a little more if it's a topic that requires a deeper dive or a deeper thought process for me. I like having humor in there. I had skits before where, like, I did the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers thing. And then every time I seem to talk about anything channel related, I always throw some funny memes in there about how nobody cares and blah, blah, blah. Like, I poke fun at myself about a topic that generally people don't care about, including this live stream. I'm sure a lot of people don't even care about this live stream. And Robert D. Smith, is that new? It says $150. Yeah, no, that's not new. That's sorry. If there was a pop-up that said $150 on Patreon or whatever, that was Robert did that earlier this month. He's a $150 backer on Patreon right now. Thank you for that support, by the way. It just popped up in my Streamlabs, and I'm like, that didn't happen right now. Unless he did another 150, which I might cry, because that would push us to 600. Anyways, so oh man, really YouTube? I zoom in on one page and you got to make everything zoomed in? Come on, Chrome. I'm trying to read the chat a little bit. All right. So, I really like Prime News. The problem is I can't do Prime News every day. And it's not a time thing. It's not an ability thing. I actually, when I was doing it every day, I had a really nice schedule to pull it off. And I still can do that schedule. Basically, there'd be a morning video and then Prime News. And then a live stream. If there was time for a live stream, maybe a third video if there wasn't going to be a live stream. And I had a really nice schedule for it. But unfortunately, there's not enough topics to cover to make a Prime News every day. There just isn't. You can make an argument there is. If I was a channel, or I shouldn't even say a channel, if I was a person that cared deeply about indie games, there is enough news to make like 3 Prime News a day. I mean, I swear there's like 20 to 30 new games announced for Switch every single day from the indie space. So I could make a Prime News work every day. But it wouldn't be as good because, one, the topics aren't as big. And two, I don't care as much about indie games as a lot of people. And I'm one of those people that always voice out that indie games should not be viewed as lesser games. They should be, equal to AAA and B tier games. Like, you should not dismiss indie games. And I know that I'm not practicing what I preach, right? In saying this stuff. But reality is, I can't help that personally. I am more interested. Usually, there are indie games that sometimes really stand out for me. But usually, I'll be more interested in something like Yoshi coming at the end of this month from Nintendo. If an even Assassin's Creed 3, I'm really interested in the Switch version just to see if the performance is as bad as the reveal trailer, right? Like, I have this morbid curiosity about a franchise that I like. And stuff like that. I'm just more interested, I guess, in the more AAA stuff. And I hate saying that because I realize that means I'm missing out on a lot of stuff in gaming, and I own a ton of indie games. I've been playing a lot of ukulele lately. Like, I love indie games. It's just I don't necessarily like talking about them much because to me, indie games are best talked about through playing than anything else. And oftentimes when I'm playing indie games, it's like a new IP every single time for me, right? Like, I don't play a lot of franchise ones, like Trine 1, Trine 2, Trine 3, Trine 4, I think that's coming out soon. Like, I don't play a lot of those franchise ones. A lot of those one-hit ones are the ones I play. And it's hard to talk about them until they come out. And even then, if it's not something that blows me away, I'm probably not going to talk about it. So, but I'll talk about Wolfenstein 2. I'll talk about Doom Eternal. Because those are long-standing franchises that I respect, and I have just this immense desire to play. And I can also tell in the interest of my videos, when I talk about indie games, they just don't get the kind of viewership they do when I talk about these bigger games. To be completely understood, these bigger games sell millions of copies. The indie games, even some of the best ones, sell, 500,000 copies. So I get it. There's just more interest in the bigger games. And this is true for me as well. And the problem is, with Prime News, is I need to have it be something that has topics I'm interested in. Because if the topics I'm talking about every day in that show are things I'm not interested in, and I'm only doing it because we have some people who follow the channel for indie games, or because you guys are interested in the topic. There are exceptions I make for your guys' interest in the topic, like when I've covered a little bit of Mortal Kombat 11 that I have zero interest in, but I know a lot of other people do, so I did a little bit of coverage for it. Or the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fighting game. There's been more news that came out about that, but I don't care about fighting games, so I just talked about its announcement in a Prime News episode, but that was it. I'll cover some of those stories, but generally, most of the stories have to be something I actually am interested in. And if I'm not interested in it, I feel like it's going to affect the quality of the show. So, the big thing for me is I want to do Prime News more often. I think that's kind of the big concept here is, as much as I love the content I make, the sitting down here and just talking to you guys, which makes up probably a majority of the videos, besides Prime News, besides the podcast that gets recorded back there, it's that I want to take a new approach moving forward. And the approach is something that I told myself I never really wanted to do. And it's something that I'm not even sure I'm going to go through with it. Because this is something that once I do it, I can't go back. There's no going back from this. Essentially, the idea is that we would cover more than Nintendo at this channel. And it's not because I don't have an immense interest in Nintendo. It's because this is my job. This is my livelihood. And I got to think about, one, everything I'm interested in gaming, which goes beyond Nintendo. I'm interested in a lot of stuff going on with Xbox. Google has a conference later this month revealing their vision for the future of gaming. I want to talk about that. I want to cover that. I'm so interested in that. I know I'm going to be watching it. So why am I not passionately talking about and covering it and speculating on what that future is? Is it a game console in combination with their streaming service through Chrome? What's going on? Are they making games now? Like, I would love to dive into it, but it's got nothing to do with Nintendo. What's going on with next-gen systems and the rumors around those. What's going on with the latest PlayStation exclusives, or Xbox, who like today announced that the Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC, and not just coming to PC, but coming to Steam on PC, right? And like they just did like the Xbox Insider thing today. Like that would have been really cool to cover and talk about. Stuff I'm interested in, even if I'm not always playing those games, right? Like I don't own a PlayStation 4, so I'm not always playing these games, but I'm very interested in the games themselves and talking about those games. And obviously, in the interest of not playing them, like say we're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that back in the day, obviously it would come from the perspective of just what I think as an outsider. Once the game comes out, I'll let the people that are playing the game do the talking because they have more hands-on experience than me. Also, there's obviously a chance that, you know, I would end up picking up a PlayStation 4 because I do feel like I do need to go hands-on with some of these games to talk about them more in depth beyond what the initial news is. But that's neither here nor there. But in covering more stuff, it would enable me to do Prime News every day because there is more than enough topics every day to bust out a 10-topic Prime News daily. And not only bust it out every day, but have it on a schedule. I think some people always complain that I don't have things on a schedule. Prime News is on a schedule, but it's once a week. Can I make it a schedule every single day, Monday through Friday? Sure. And what's nice about it is I always shoot for about 7 p.m. It's funny because I actually think Newswave comes out at 7 a.m. But what I like about the 7 p.m. slot is basically all the big stories from the day are going to be there. So if you're at work, if you're at school, you're at all the stuff, you get home, you get your homework done, you relax, you pick up your kids, you get dinner done, everyone's relaxing, starting to wind down, boom, here's your video that summarizes all the big stuff from that day that you missed. And I like that. That's the whole concept of Prime News. But it was just for Nintendo. But Nintendo doesn't... Nintendo, how do I put it? Nintendo just doesn't have enough bigger stories for me to do that. Now, again, nothing is set in stone. I haven't made any decisions. Rebranding is scary. It puts the entire channel at risk. I could lose all of my supporters on Patreon. And right now, I'm only able to do this right now. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. If it wasn't for our supporters on Patreon, I wouldn't be able to do this right now. Yeah, we get some ad revenue here and there, but it's been pretty inconsistent. The channel growth has kind of stagnated, and I'm at this point now where I'm really reliant on that revenue more than I want to be because that revenue could vanish tomorrow. So my thing is that I don't want to scare people away too much. I want people, like, if I do make a change, to at least give it a chance because I would still cover more Nintendo than anything. And my problem is in doing that. I am afraid of being too similar to Spawnwave, being too similar to RGT, being too similar to Dreamcast Guy, being too similar to Player Essence, being too similar to pretty much every channel that people already compare me to as is, right? One thing that made me stand out compared to all those channels is I'm only Nintendo, right? And I know that. And I know that there's not a lot of only Nintendo channels doing what I do. There's a lot of channels that do a lot of things that do some of what I do. But for just true blue Nintendo stuff, there's really me, Game Explain, which goes way past what I'm able to do on my own. Switch Force, who has 2 people doing it, so that really helps them a little bit with some of what they do. And I guess you could toss like the BitBlock in there, although his channel's kind of all over the place at times. I just think that there isn't a lot, like there's a lot of Nintendo channels, but not a lot of Nintendo channels doing specifically what I do. And even like the BitBlock wouldn't be a channel that really does what I do. He has discussions sometimes. He doesn't really report news anymore, whatever. So I kind of am sitting in a nice niche, right? Like I'm in this nice niche where no one's really doing this the way that I'm doing it. For just Nintendo specifically. People might be doing it the way I'm doing it for all of gaming. And I'm worried about, I guess, getting lost in the crowd. Like, if I just do everything, am I going to lose the fan base I already have and alienate them? And then in addition to that, am I going to alienate, just the community on the whole? Like, why would someone watch me over Spawnwave? Why would someone come to me for the Google conference on the 19th over Spawnwave or RGT or Dreamcast Guy? Like, why would... Well, I mean, the answer is, well, because they want to hear what I think about it. I guess that's the obvious answer, but if my content's not as good, are people going to care? And it's something I find myself fighting with a lot because I realize a lot of you guys are here because of me. I mean, you came here for Nintendo. Some video, somewhere, some stream, something I did about Nintendo is why you're here. Maybe it's one of my giveaways. Whatever. It's why you're here. But then some of you guys have chosen to stick around, even as you might not even own a Switch, because of me. I become more and more aware that my channel is very personality based. It's very, people stay subscribed because of me. So it makes me a little more comfortable in making a change, thinking people will still stay subscribed because they're here for me anyways. But I don't know. Like this is a life altering change for the channel. Because there is no going back. If I rebrand to Gaming Prime, or I don't even know what I would call it. I probably wouldn't call it Gaming. I think there's like 5 different Gaming Prime YouTube channels. I don't know what I would call it. But I don't know. Like, Prime News is really good as it is once a week. I like covering all the individual topics. I like the discussion video I put out today, even though it was getting a lot of hate because a lot of people still don't like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So just talking positively about that game is always going to bring the haters out of the woodwork, and that's fine. And maybe it's also because some people aren't happy with Gen 8 right now, and so, like, I don't know, they want to let out their frustrations on anything Pokemon related at the moment. I'm not really sure. But I don't know. I think now is probably the time I should read the commentary a bit, because I don't know what to do. I have this desire to do more. Like, I'm a tech head. I don't know if you guys know this. Like, I love technology. I love talking about the latest CPUs and GPUs and phones, from all those foldable phones out there. Thank you so much, Corey, for your $2 super chat. Where's my shot glasses, though? Oh, where's my other shot glass? Oh, well. When in doubt, go to the German shot glass. I'm just conflicted, I guess is the best way to put it. Because I don't want to pretend like I'm some god at covering Nintendo. People do it better than me already. Cheers. So I don't think I'm better than I am. But I just know that I have a second channel for a reason. I don't know if people know it. It's linked down in the description. I have a second channel that's just my name. It's Nathaniel Rumpel-Jantz. It's just my name. And it's literally called Tech Gaming Whatever, because it's supposed to be a channel for me to do whatever the hell I want, right? Make tech videos, make videos about Sony and Microsoft and, Assassin's Creed and all this stuff. But I don't ever make videos for it because I don't have the time. Reality is that whenever I sit down to make a video, I'm always thinking, what's the next video to make for Nintendo Prime? What's the next topic? What's the next thing? What's the next idea? What's the next thing on the agenda list? Like, I got to do an episode of SideQuest this week. Like, okay, cool. So then, like, here's a list of ideas for SideQuest. Pick one of those. Start like scripting and going through the process of research and all the stuff I need to do. Playing the game I'm going to play for it, whatever. And that's what I'm always thinking of because I am passionate about this YouTube channel, and reality is it's my job. So spare time to make videos, high quality videos for another channel, I don't know what that is anymore. My spare time is with my children. So I'm conflicted because I don't know that this is... I'm worried this could kill the channel. I think that's the biggest thing I'm worried about. I am not exactly in the most financially stable position in the world right now, and if I kill the channel, that's it. If I take this leap, that's it. Like, if it could literally crash the channel immediately, and that's the end of it. That scares me. Because we have a lot of support as is, a lot of Nintendo fans. I don't know, man. Let me read what some of the chat's saying. I know M the Moon's probably not happy with us. He's made his thoughts known several times over how much he doesn't like, how he doesn't like that stuff. Let me see what some people are saying here. Let me scroll up a little bit. I don't know if I can read the whole chat. Oh, I can read the whole chat. All right, let me just go through the entire chat here and see what some people were saying along the way. Ultra Taco, I think he mentioned this a few times. Nintendo just opened a division in Israel. Like, literally, before 12 hours. That's pretty neat. I mean, that is pretty neat. Is it something I ultimately care about? No. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I care about a story I don't. I think it's cool. I think it's great for Israel. But I don't live in Israel, and I got nothing else to say other than, ooh, that's cool. Like, that's like a footnote. What I do when I structure my Prime News videos is I usually have 4 or 5 big stories, and I spread them out, and then little stories I fill in between. Like, that would be a little story. I cannot make a Prime News episode without at least 4 to 5 big topics. I can't just fill it with a bunch of little topics. To me, that's a really cool thing to like, oh yeah, by the way, Nintendo open up a branch in Israel, blah, 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 whatever details I have about that branch and any plans they might have posted out in social media or something. Or links to their social media if they started up social media things for Israel. Let me see. Scrolling down here. A lot of people here. 50 plus. Thanks for tuning in. Abel Diaz Urbina. Thank you so much for being here. T. Hodgins. João Vitor. Is that how you pronounce it? Talking about how there's not a lot of Nintendo fans in Brazil. I'm well aware of that. Let's see here. John is here. Talk about the comments in Let's Go video, please. Don't call me a Nintendo hater because I criticize Let's Go. I don't think anyone's a Nintendo hater because you don't like Let's Go or you criticize it. That's silly. That's a really silly. Who would think someone's a Nintendo hater because you don't like a game? Now, it would be different if you are. I guess you could see how people might call you a Nintendo hater depending on how you attack the game or how you criticize. It's okay to criticize a game. But, like, if you're just making one of those eye roll, like, this game is, stupid, and you won't run away. Like, people just usually associate that with haters, rather than people giving legit criticisms on why they don't like something. 'Cause it's totally cool if people don't like a game. Or don't. Heck, it's totally cool if people don't like Nintendo. Like, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They don't need anyone defending them. Like, they're doing just fine, let me tell you. Sweet Life Video Brando says, I like Prime News. Ultra Taco really wants me to talk about the Nintendo Israel thing. Let's see here. Sonic Forces loves Nate's stuff and Prime. Well, Nate's stuff is just, I can't control Nate's stuff. I never can. Nate's stuff is a series where people send me stuff to my P.O. Box. Obviously, if there's no stuff sent to my P.O. Box, I can't do another episode right now. I don't think there's anything at my P.O. Box right now, so. Let me see. Koopa Troopa Poopa likes my humor. Terry X0 says, I'll still support you. Your feed's a little choppy and blurry today. It looks crisp on my end. If my feed is still choppy and blurry for other people, let me know. I have it playing over here on this monitor, and it's it looks smooth. I mean, maybe the audio's not synced up. I don't have that. I don't know. It looks smooth. I'm not seeing any choppiness or any drop frames. And Streamlabs doesn't say I have any drop frames. So, anyways, let me scroll down here. Robert Smith is here as well. Hebrew subtitles in more games. Zulziak. You non-Nintendo. I don't know what that means. The only thing is, will you keep your channel name if you talk about other companies? It says Y2 Wrestling. I think the big thing in talking about other stuff is, I don't know that you could stay, like, can I really stay branded Nintendo Prime but be talking about all this other stuff? Wouldn't that be confusing? This is one of those situations where it kind of sucks that I named myself Nintendo Prime just because Nintendo's in the name. Like, Prime would stay. I would find some new name that's built around Prime, but I don't know. That's a whole other thing. Like, if I do decide to do this, I almost have to rebrand. Like, Nintendo Prime can stay around as part of the brand, like the Nintendo branch of what I do. Like, the Nintendo Prime podcast would still be called the Nintendo Prime podcast, and stuff like that. And if I ever do an Xbox podcast or a Sony podcast, Sony Prime podcast, Xbox Prime podcast, or whatever. But I think I'm leaning more towards a general gaming podcast in the future if we get to that stretch goal on Patreon. M. The Moon says, I refuse to support yet another gaming/tech tuber. Stick to Nintendo. But I already am a gaming YouTuber. Like, you refuse to support another gaming/tech tuber, but I am a gaming/tech tuber already. I just only talk about Nintendo gaming and tech. It's the same. I don't know. Anyways. Dynamic Kirby says, go for it. Zools, Yak says, you're a tech-savvy guy. I'm sure it's more up your Nintendo's way up more up my alley than tech. Especially since I can't ever afford any of the tech. So I'm just talking about it rather than having hands-on experience with it. But, yeah. What would I name your new channel? It wouldn't be a new channel ever. That's the thing. It would be this channel. It wouldn't be a new channel. It would be rebranding this channel. Robert Smith says he supports the personality, not the type of content. That's good to know, especially since you're a $150 backer right now. It's good to know. But I have 56 other patrons that I have to worry about too. Basically becoming a Spawn Wave clone. I'm sad now. Okay. Ben Freiberg says a Google machine is Nintendo news because it rocks the video game environment. I don't think you need any validation to branch out on some material. The validation is that it wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, cool, I can cover the Google conference, or I can cover a Sony conference or an Xbox conference. I'm talking about a change to what I do every day. Meaning there might be days I don't talk about Nintendo. Example, I didn't really have any Nintendo news today that interested me, right? But you know what did interest me? Master Chief Collection coming to Steam. Would have made a video on that today if we were covering Xbox. Let me see here. I'm scrolling down. There was a few other stories that I kind of overlooked today just because I was working on some videos. Let's see here. I don't know why I'm on. This is a terrible website for news that I'm looking for. You ever have like those websites you go to that like there's like one news story and there are 10 articles even though they're supposed to be a news website? I hate when that happens. Let's see here. God, that's basically the same thing. Hold on. Let me see. Oh yeah, the Division 2 came out recently, so I might have talked about that. I forgot that came out recently. I probably would have talked about Apex Legends by now, just because I think it's a really interesting game. And you know how it might compare to something like Fortnite, if it compares at all. How does it compare to Overwatch a little bit, since some people feel like it's like a battle royale Overwatch game. I could also stream more in different games. I could stream games on PC, which would be new. I don't really do that. I wouldn't need to have an excuse to play World of Warcraft anymore. I could just play World of Warcraft on a stream and be fine with it. I saw some movies released, like Captain Marvel, but I don't know that I don't know if I feel like branching out into movies and TV unless it's video game related. Let's see here. Oh, Capcom's Dragon Dogma is becoming an anime series. I actually thought about talking about that because you could argue it's related to Nintendo because Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen's coming on Switch. But it's not really. It's Capcom news, right? Like, Netflix isn't on Switch. So, it's Capcom news is what it is. Let's see here. There was, the Aladdin trailer today. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm missing right now. There's some lawsuit stuff with some companies I want to talk about. Some Anthem players that are protesting some stuff. The new Doom movie trailer, which has nothing to do with the Doom games. So again, didn't talk about it. That would have been something I would have talked about. A whole bunch of stuff. But like, I don't talk about this stuff. Because, oh yeah, and all the Insider Xbox stuff. There was a whole bunch of news that came out of that. I didn't talk about this stuff because we're Nintendo Prime. It's got nothing to do with the channel. I know I can stretch some of those stories that have something to do with the channel, but it's a stretch. I'd like it to not be a stretch if I'm going to cover it. Basically, if I'm going to do this, I'm going all out. I'm not just like, oh, you're a general gaming channel that leans Nintendo. Sure, I'm always going to have a bias towards Nintendo over everything else, and there will be times that Nintendo will end up taking priority over other things. Like, if I go to E3 this year, I'm probably going to make sure I get footage and play all the Nintendo games. I don't know that I will do that for all the other booths, right? Especially if I don't have a media pass. I don't know that I will do that. But what I do know is that I will cover Nintendo stuff. That's for sure. And I have a Nintendo Prime podcast. Like, how do I balance that out? Well, you can have a general gaming podcast, but then you're not really prioritizing Sony and Microsoft the same way you prioritize Nintendo, and I worry about that. I worry about for my Nintendo fan base, what happens if I go 3 consecutive days without one Nintendo story or one Nintendo video? Because there's so much news going on everywhere else that's more important. It interests me more. Like, I'm very scared. And that's why I'm not convinced I'm going to do this. But that's also why we're doing this live stream. So we could talk this crap out and help me figure out what I'm going to do with this channel. And what you guys are okay and comfortable with me doing. Or if anything at all. Or nothing will change. It'll just be the same the way it's been. Let me see here. John says, please stick to Nintendo. The only channels that are Nintendo only are BitBlock, who banned me. Switchforce, who is crap. Arlo, who doesn't have the local feel of this channel. You have your niche. Yeah, that's the thing. I know that I'm in a good niche because there isn't a lot of Nintendo channels. There's a lot of general gaming channels like me. There's not a lot of Nintendo channels like me. So I know that I'm literally serving a niche. Like even Arlo. Like I'm not the kind of channel Arlo is, right? So especially he does a lot of reviews. I don't do a lot of reviews. So there is some differences between all, like even the Switchforce and the Game Explains and the BitBlog. Like, there's a huge differences between all of our channels. And so we all kind of serve our own particular niche. And that's why we can all coexist without eating into each other's fan bases. But it's still, I don't know, man. Like people, I always get so many compliments on my highest quality of content. And like, I know that stuff like Prime News is really the big catalyst of this. I would love Prime News to be a more identifiable thing for me. But like, if I start doing it daily and I start covering other topics, like, are people just going to say that? Well, people are going to say, they already say it anyways, but are people just going to say I'm copying SpawnWave? Because like I don't want to do this because of SpawnWave. It's me wanting to do it because that's what I'm interested in, and I know how high quality the content is. And I don't know. I think the content's different enough from what he does, but I also don't watch Newswave. Full confession here, I don't watch Newswave. I maybe watched one episode like a year ago. I don't watch Newswave. I don't get my news from YouTubers. Don't know like this is like breaking news or something, but I don't get my news from YouTubers. Unless they are the source of the news, I don't get my news from them. So it's like I don't watch other people's news videos, like hardly ever. Their opinion videos, sure. The Spawncast, absolutely. But like I don't go to YouTube for my news. But a lot of people do. So I don't want to. I don't know. You guys, I hope this makes sense. Like, I'm literally fighting myself in my brain between, like, what I want to do, the kind of content that's great, and if I go this way, am I going to destroy everything I have? I know that I can't live up to the standards that other channels have, per se. Like, I can't necessarily deliver the kind of quality and the amount of videos that SpawnWave can put out with, like, his Rumor Waves and his GameStop videos and all. Like, I can't keep up. I can't really compete directly with that. Nor should I be trying to. But I think that Prime News does directly compete with something like Newswave. I know this. There's a reason that RGT stopped doing a similar thing. Player Essence, even with like his Player Essence news videos. What does he call his news videos again? PE News, I think. Sometimes he has 2 of those a day. He's got one every day, which is still him, kind of like SpawnWave. But then like sometimes he does 2 a day because there's just so much news. You need to split it up between 2 videos. I don't know, man. But see, he's interested. He's able to do it, and it's a lot of Nintendo stuff because he's interested in a lot of those smaller indie games and all that stuff that I'm not as interested in. A lot of his PE News segments are a ton of indie games, which is totally fine because that's what he's into. He's into that stuff, and that's cool. He's into AAA stuff too, but like he's really into indie games, and that's great. Good for him. Like for people who like to do that coverage, it's awesome. But that's just not me. So when you only care about the big Nintendo releases or care about talking about the big Nintendo releases, and then on top of that, you only care about talking about the big AAA games, you see why I'm kind of stuck with Prime News once a week? So obviously the solution is I could do Prime News daily and just cover more Nintendo stuff, but then end up not enjoying what I'm doing. If I'm not enjoying it, I think that's going to come out in the video. Like, there's comedy in those videos, and I don't know that I could be comedic if I'm not actually enjoying it. I'm just forcing topics. I never want to force a topic. I'm not going to say I've never done it, but it's pretty rare that I force a topic just to get a video done. Nate will be better than Spawn Wave. I don't like comparing like who's better than who. He's got his way of doing things. I got my way of doing things. I think there is a world where both can coexist. I mean, think about all the tech tubers out there, like the Jay's 2 Cents, the Bitwits, the Kyles, the Linus Tech Tips, and they all like cover the same products and like they'll do the same unboxings and the same benchmarks and the same reviews and the same this, but each one of them is different because their personalities are different. So people tune into Gamers Nexus or Bitwit or whatever because they're choosing the person whose personality they like most. In how they talk about things. So that like YouTube's a very personality driven thing. So you can have 18 channels that are exactly like Spawn Wave, but all of them can feel different because of the people doing it. And that's where I feel like that's the counter argument is it doesn't matter what Spawn Wave does or what I do like Prime News that's comparable to Spawn Wave because I'm not Spawn Wave. I'm not John. And he's not me. He can't have my personality and I can't have his personality. I have no interest in mimicking him and I don't think he has interest in mimicking me. I think we just both do our own things. Heck, I helped him out. I called out Spawn Wave because he wasn't sourcing his news and now he sources his news because I think that's important. Like, and he didn't take that as an attack. He's like, oh, you know what? That's a really good point. Like, I should be sourcing my stuff. Why? Like, I obviously am looking at it. I obviously research this stuff. I have a document with it in. Why am I not telling people where I get it from? And he agreed. And to me, that's part of my journalism background. Like, sourcing is a huge deal. But, and I'm not perfect with it either, but I try to be as good as I can be. Did you have an idea already for videos that were non-Nintendo? Yes. Yes, I did. I had an idea. I have two on series that are non-Nintendo, right? So, Side Quest is Nintendo related in a way, but it's not. So Side Quest is a series where I talk about a game that isn't on a Nintendo platform, is probably more current, something, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 or something, like something happening more recently or within the last 6 months. And I talk about that game and I give a Nintendo fan's take on that game. So it's a game that I probably played. I'm not going to say it's a game I always play, but the idea is it's a game that I play and then I give my thoughts. It's not a review. Sometimes I only play the game for an hour, but it's just my impressions of that game along with the things I know and have heard about that game along the way and how it compares maybe to something I could draw a comparison to from Nintendo's side of things. And then there's Outside the Box. And Outside the Box was a series where I would talk about things like the PlayStation 5 or the next Xbox or something like that. And Outside the Box was a random thing. But the thing is, if I start doing this stuff every day and there's like 3 episodes of Outside the Box and 0 normal Nintendo news, you see the problem? I made those things because I knew I wanted to talk about more, but I know there's gonna be days that like it's all like today. Xbox Insider would have dominated my news today. I would have literally been live streaming for like 3 hours today. The Xbox Insider stuff, like it would have dominated the channel. Today would have basically been all about Xbox. Maybe the Pokemon Let's Go video might have came out because I already had that in the works, but I'm going to be right back. I really have to go to the bathroom, and I've been holding it, and I don't know how much longer I can hold it for. So let me play some music for you guys. Some music that, and you know what? I don't even have to change the screen. Get that Breath of the Wild music going. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. Let me get my stuff back up here. I'm going to try to go through the chat a little faster, too. I know I'm pretty far behind the chat. Let's see here. Don't donate the amount that I do because of your content type. I'm here to support the personality. I can't speak for everyone, but I won't stop supporting you. I always appreciate that, Robert. Have a Patreon poll. I like controversial Nate. It's funny when people say, I like controversial Nate. That came from Joke here. Leave the name. Nintendo is your prime content. The other stuff is filler. But that's the thing. If I do this, it wouldn't be filler anymore. Like, I think for player essence, non-Nintendo content is filler. It wouldn't be filler for me. This would be daily. This would be Prime News Daily would have stuff in it. It would get, I don't want to say equal treatment to Nintendo, but it would be close. Joel Putz will still support me, though I really like your Nintendo content. D-Dub64, dude, you're overthinking it. You are Nintendo Prime, not the channel. If you talk about an Xbox game, you don't have to be named something else. RGT stands for Retro Gaming Tube. He does zero retro. Well, he does some retro, just not as much retro as I think I would like him to do. But, of course, now my fiance is calling me. 1 second. Finally back. Sorry about that. I had some family stuff going on. Make sure that phone's charging. All right. So where were we? Don't even know how many people are watching right now. That wasn't as big. That was like there. And this. All right. Close this. Man, I'm all discombobulated right now. That's a word, right? Discombobulated. I feel like it's a word. Man, we dropped down to 26 people. That's to be expected. I was gone for a little bit there. Sorry about that. I had some family stuff with my daughter I had to take care of, but it's taken care of. Everything's good. Let me see here. Scrolling down. What's your favorite cartoon you've watched as a kid? Jeez. Ninja Turtles. DW64 says, I think him and Haw too much instead of just getting content out there. It's your channel. Pedal the metal with whatever you do. You do. Burn too much just thinking. Just do. I mean, I am doing. I know that you're ultra critical of my channel at times, DW64, but do you know how much content I put out? I'm just generally curious. Like, I was gone for 3 days, right? And in those 3 days, 2 videos went out that were in total 3 hours in length. Before that, I had 3 videos on Friday. I had 4 videos on Thursday. I had a video on Wednesday, a video on Tuesday, 2 videos on Monday. Like, what do people realistically expect from me here? I'm putting out a ton of content, man. Like, just because I'm debating on the future of the channel, I still got a video out today. Still have another one in the works. What do people expect of me? I think it's a little strange. People think that I think too much and I don't do enough. Like, holy crud. How many more videos do you want me to make, man? I don't want to gosh, I don't want to force things. I'd feel like I was really forcing things if I was putting out a ton more than I am now when I only covered Nintendo. John says make the other channel the main gaming channel and keep the Nintendo Prime main focus. Yeah, no. Here's the thing. I'm either going all in or I'm going all out. That's just the way it is. There's no in between there. My other channel has existed for a while, and I'm not making content on it. There's a reason for that. I don't have time to run 2 channels. And anytime I do put into it should be put into a channel that actually supports me rather than into a channel that doesn't, for lack of a better word. We're not big enough as this channel for me to spare the time to work on a pet project. Corey Bones says, keep the Nintendo name focused, but don't fence yourself in. You aren't going to be doing deep dives on Xbox indie exclusives. I mean, I don't know. How do you know I'm not going to do that? I don't know that I'm not going to do that, so how can you know I'm not going to do that? Muse says, by the way, well, hey, Muse, I don't think I've ever seen you stream, if you're still here. I definitely say branch out to other platforms under one channel rather than split them. I'll be watching no matter what route you take. Thank you. If it makes you happy, you should just do it. Grip it and rip it. Please don't kill the channel, Nate. I want you and your fam to be alright. Black Chinaman cries some. Why do you need to rebrand? Game Explain is a Nintendo branded channel, but they still cover games from other consoles. Game Explain is not a Nintendo branded channel. What's the name of the channel? Ask yourself. What is the name of the channel for Game Explain? Game Explain. It's not Nintendo Explain. It's Game Explain. Yes, they are a Nintendo channel, and they do cover some other things like Kingdom Hearts 3. but their channel isn't called Nintendo Explain. It's Game Explain. It's a very general, like, do you understand? Nintendo is in the name of my channel. I don't know if this is like clicking with people. Nintendo Prime. It's a lot harder to cover other things under a literal Nintendo brand than it is when you're not. Game Explain could become a general gaming channel if they want, and it wouldn't require them to rebrand the channel because the channel is already just Game Explain. And they would still cover Nintendo as much as they already do. It would probably just involve them hiring even more people to cover Sony and Microsoft and stuff. So, yeah, that's weird. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Dynamic Kirby, gonna be honest, if you did more than just the Ninty stuff, your content would be better than most of the other channels out there. The channel could grow more than otherwise would. I mean, that's obviously the one benefit of if I cover more, I might be able to draw in the audience of those people. Maybe. The thing is, I don't have as much experience playing, especially on PlayStation. I don't have a lot of experience playing games on PlayStation. So I do worry, of course, about that side of things. About, can I appeal to an audience that I'm not actively playing the games on their platforms as much? Can I appeal to that audience? I don't know. Maybe I can. I don't know. I have no idea. Don't know till you try, right? I don't know. In fact, I'm fluent in Hebrew. Nice. Nice to have more content to consume in that language. Cool. Let's see here. Maybe still keep the name Nintendo Prime. You rebranding late to the stream. Nothing's been decided yet, Matthew. I'm just going to go to people that have been pinging me now so I can catch up to the chat. Here's an idea. Try making the non-Nintendo videos first in addition to the regular Nintendo videos. See how things go. And if the videos are successful, rebrand the channel. I mean, that is obviously that's a cautious approach. That's a dip your toe in the water and just see how people react. And if they hate it, don't do it anymore. I mean, that's a cautious approach, especially if I start doing Prime News daily. See how people react to it. I mean, obviously, I'm already losing a lot of subs. I don't know if people, I mean, no one pays attention to this but me. But just from when I started this stream to right now, I've lost over 20 subs. Just from me even talking about this. So how many hundreds of subs am I going to lose? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. The green screen with the chair. Cool look. Thanks. I had the green screen up for a different video, so I just left it up. I could have took it down, but it is cool that I'm reusing this portable green screen. This portable green screen is one of the first things I ever bought as a YouTuber. Actually, I didn't even buy it for YouTube. I bought it for videos I was making for Zelda Informer. And I didn't want my kitchen in the background, so I bought a green screen. Portable green screen. Oh, man, the setup in the kitchen. My office for working at Zelda Informer used to be in the kitchen of my apartment. And, yeah, whenever I'd have the lights, these exact lights, actually, and this green screen set up, like, my fiance would come in and try to get something to drink, and she, like, couldn't even get to the sink. It was bad. I don't particularly like Spawn Wave, the news, I mean. Okay. The worst it can become is one of those outrage gaming channels that focuses only on the negativity of the gaming industry. I mean, I would talk about some of that negativity, of course, but I don't know that I could ever just be like only talk about the negativity. I think there's some channels that do that a lot. Now Jim Sterling talks a lot about the negativity. I think Young Yeah talks a lot about the negativity. I'm not saying that they themselves are being negative, but obviously they're covering a lot of the warts that exist in the game industry, and I would want to talk about some of that stuff too, but not just that. I want to talk about some of the good things. You know me, guys. I like to find balance, right? Like, I'll praise Nintendo and I'll criticize Nintendo. I like there to be balance in how I approach things. Javi says if there's no Nintendo stories to talk about, add some filler like the Master Chief story. Things I don't want it to be like filler. Because filler just means, like, what would that Master, like, if I just randomly covered Master Chief and it, it didn't cover another Xbox story for like 2 weeks, what am I achieving with that Xbox story? I'm not attracting in Xbox fans because there's no consistent Xbox content. So what am I doing? Like, it has to be more consistent. Spawnway's not the gatekeeper of newscasting. He does gaming news like it's a show, but he admits he stole it from G4. Well, G4 was one of the first places to do gaming news as a show. Does $5 donation still get a song request? Sure. $5 donation super chat, you can still do song requests if you want. That's fine. I prefer Nintendo music. I'm just trying to avoid copyrights. YouTube's kind of looking at my channel right now. So, loved your Pokemon review. Was not a review. Trust me, it pains me to say that, but it was not a review. Felt very much the way you did on most things. So what features do you think Gen 8 has not yet announced? I think they might end up having co-op play in there. That might be something that they do. I'm not sure. Nintendo Prime, a Nintendo fan's take on gaming and tech. Oh, man. That would be... I mean, that's an interesting take, Corey. You know, where I don't need to rebrand the name of the channel. I just add a tagline. You know, because I don't have a tagline right now. It's just the advertising what I do, which is gaming, opinions, podcast, news, live streams. I don't really have a... I don't really have a tagline like that. I mean, I guess the tagline can help explain things if people that notice it. But I don't know. I've been saying the problems have been all, but the thing about Spawnway is that he just tells the news. You give a strong opinion, could separate you. Mezcal says, make a once a week non-Nintendo episode and call it Switch It Up. Okay, I'm sorry. To call something Switch It Up, which has a direct reference to Nintendo Switch on a Nintendo channel, wouldn't make sense. Prime News being the thing that covers more than just Nintendo makes more sense than Switch It Up. But Switch It Up to me sounds kind of like outside the box, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. But the thing is, I don't want to do it once a week. The whole point is I want to get Prime News going daily. I don't want to do it once a week. Let it go, let it go. Someone said let it go. Better be careful, copyright. Some other people say here. Scrolling down. You guys were talking about some stuff while I was gone. You need to bring us all some ketchup chips. Jeez. Don't worry about it. The chair stream is great. You guys in the chair stream. Do you think there will be a Mario and Sonic game 2020 for those Olympics? Probably, I would assume. I mean, there seems to always be, you know, for a while now, around the time the Olympics come out. What's up, sexy? Oh, jeez. You're the new Review Tech USA. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't view myself as the new Review Tech USA. Doom Annihilation thoughts? Is that the movie, MacMean? I haven't seen the trailer yet, if that's the movie you're talking about. MacMean, I'll say it again. Your channel is better than RGT85 by miles, but he still gets more credit. You know, I don't watch RGT's content a ton. You know, maybe a video a week. I don't like getting into the, you know, the who's better. I mean, he's almost at 200,000 subs. You know, he's cranking out, you know, 20 to, you know, 60K views a video. Clearly people like him. I mean, you know, he's more laid back. I don't know. I think people just like him in general, like his opinions on things. I mean, that's the thing. It's about personality. So, like, you think I'm better than Review Tech USA, or Review Tech USA, than RGT85. But a lot of RGT85 fans would look at my videos and look at his and be like, yeah, dude, RGT's way better. Like, because people just like who they like. You know, I can't do videos the way that RGT does. He couldn't do videos the way that I do because we're just different people. You know, he puts his face in on every thumbnail. Not a very... There's not a lot of expressions in his, though. A lot of it's the same expression. It's either the surprised or the, I don't know. They all look the same. Well, whatever. I mean, he's pointing at stuff a lot. I guess that's kind of his thing. He points at things in his thumbnails. Change your name to Spawn Prime. The quartering? Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. The quartering's probably the most... I don't want to say that he's negative, but he focuses a lot on the negative news, even more than Yang Ya. Like, Yang Ya will talk about some good things sometimes, but the quartering focuses really hard on just the negative side of the industry. And he's really popular doing that. There's a lot of people that like to hear about those stories, so they go to him for that kind of drama. And it works for him, so... kudos to him. But I said Yang, yeah, I think gotten popular a lot because of that too. But he also does do positive stuff once in a while. I don't know if I've ever seen a positive the quartering video where like the whole video is positive. I don't think I've seen something like that. There probably is some. I just haven't seen some. I'm not gonna make an assumption out of every video he's ever made. How much do I bench press? Not much. I haven't bench pressed in a while, so I couldn't even tell you. At my peak fit form, I could bench press like 225. But I can't do that today. Last time I did any benching, it was like 130. But I won't be bench pressing for 90 days. So got a 90-day workout plan that begins Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. Working with a trainer on it. So, and then there's a diet associated with it, and then lifting. Doing lifts and all the stuff that begins after the 90 days. Because then the 90 days is all focused on fat burning and building just a little bit of core muscles, and then after 90 days, that's focused on strength, and building up my muscles, and trimming down the problem areas I still have after 90 days. There's still going to be some problem areas. I'm sure, like my stomach, as an example, isn't going to be where I want it to be after 90 days, but it'll be a lot closer than I want it to be. It's going to be rough, but we'll make it work. Did I answer your question yet? I don't even know what your question was, so go ahead and ask it again. There's so much stuff in the chat. Mezcal says, why do you think the January, February, March sucks for new games? Feels like releasing a big AAA game during mid-January would allow the game to be unchallenged until April. When was the last time we had a big January? I mean, I know New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is kind of a big deal, but like a brand new big game. I don't even remember the last big one in January from anyone. I don't know. I think it's just the holiday lull. Like, there was so much money and so much like marketing pumped into the holidays that even like studios are like, okay, we want to stop spending hundreds of $1 million on marketing. Like, we want a break from marketing like crazy. So maybe it also gives the staff a break and gives the budget a break. I don't know. I'm not really sure why. Maybe some people have done that in the past and it's just proven to not sell as well, so they just don't do it. I don't know. Hey, what happened to Ninjala? Was supposed to release this spring. Still might release this spring. I haven't heard any news on Ninjala. Let me actually look up. I haven't seen any news on Ninjala. Yeah, I don't think the website's been updated at all. Yeah, now it's not even listed for spring. It's just listed for 2019. So it's obviously been delayed. Yeah, I'm not seeing any news on Ninjala at all. Let me search by the past month. Yeah, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, don't know. It's been delayed. It'll probably be at E3 again. It's been delayed. I wonder if they'll go all out. They had a huge booth for Ninjala last year. I wonder if they're going to do that again. But yeah, it's obviously been delayed out of spring. Because now they don't have spring listed on the site anymore. Let's see here. Kingdom Hearts 3, huge AAA game. Okay, Kingdom Hearts 3, there you go. There you go, there's one. I forgot about Kingdom Hearts 3, it's because I didn't play it. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out this past January. How am I doing? I am doing good. What other AAA games could you see coming to Switch? AAA third-party games? I mean, anything that companies want to put in the time to bring over. You know, I think if Frostbite's been ported to Switch, then you can start seeing some more sports games like Madden. A more current version of FIFA. But who knows? You know, it's kind of a crapshoot at this point. More fighting games, I guess, since it seems to be getting good fighting game support. So, I've been streaming now. I mean, I know I was away for a little bit, but I'm streaming now for about an hour and 42 minutes. And I don't know that I'm any closer to making a decision on what I want to do with the channel or not. Like, do I just go all out, rebrand, do my thing, lose thousands of subs maybe, but hopefully come out the other side with more? Do I just randomly start covering stuff every day anyways and seeing how people react? Do I not do anything and just keep covering Nintendo news? I can't decide. Such a big decision. See, and I've made this mistake in the past. So let me explain why this is even harder for me to decide, okay? So, when I ran Zelda Informer, there was a small period of time, about 6 months, where Zelda news is really slow, and I came up with this idea called Zelda Informer Plus. Zelda Informer Plus was basically Zelda Informer as it's always been, but now we covered Nintendo news. So we were like Nintendo everything, or Go Nintendo, or whatever. Like, we were covering tons and tons of Nintendo news, like 10, 15, 20 stories a day. And yeah, we got a lot of traffic. Traffic-wise, it was amazing. But, you know, a new Zelda game comes around, we start focusing on that, cutting away from the Nintendo news as much, and we lost a lot of viewership and lost a lot of support because people were starting to dig us for the Nintendo news. Now, it was also confusing because a lot of our Zelda fans were like, why are you covering all this stuff? So we confused our Zelda fans, and then when we went back to just Zelda, when a new Zelda game was announced, we confused people who started following the place because of the Nintendo news. So it was just so confusing for so many of our fans. And I don't think that Zelda Informer Plus was a net game for Zelda Informer. I think it actually set us back for a while. So I'm afraid of, like, even if I just start randomly covering stuff, like, I don't know. I'm going to feel like I need to get a Nintendo video out every day because I need something to balance it out. And then I'm going to start forcing content. So and you guys know the moment I release a Prime News episode that has, like, a headline in it that's not Nintendo, I bet you there'll be, like, 50 comments on there about, oh, how's it going, Spawn Wave? I gotta tell you, one of the most annoying things in the world is when people try to discredit your work by just saying you're copying somebody else. I hate it so much. Like, forget what you want to do as a creator. You're just copying other people. You're lazy. It's like, oh, my God. Okay, cool. Cool. What about IGN? They've had a new show forever. Does Spawn Wave copy them? Like, whatever. I know I shouldn't worry about the negativity, but I can't help it. It's like human nature that negative comments always stand out more than the positive ones. Keep the brand, add the tag, at least as a transition phase. Leave the name, go forward making content you want to make, dude. Well, here's the thing with the name, though, right? Like, okay, so say I go with that tag. I already forgot what the tag was. Nintendo Prime and Nintendo fans' take on gaming and tech or whatever it was, right? Here's the thing about that. Is an Xbox fan, a Sony fan, a PC fan really going to follow a channel called Nintendo Prime? Am I really expanding my audience by having Nintendo in my name? Even saying a Nintendo fan's take. That's still, I'm just appealing to Nintendo fans, right? Like, the channel would just be appealing to Nintendo fans. It wouldn't be appealing to Xbox and Sony and PC fans. So, like, I don't know, man. I still feel like I'm limiting myself. Like, I'm holding myself back. What I feel like if I did just that. I mean, I know that's safer. I guess it's a transition. I don't know. Would you play FIFA or Madden? I don't really play FIFA, but I do play Madden. Why not cover news through the lens of Nintendo, such as how Fallout 76 and its errors remind us of how Nintendo is? See, again, saying something like that, like Mezcal, like using Fallout 76 as a reminder of how, you know, Nintendo doesn't do anything like that. That is literally Nintendo fan bias to the extreme. That is, oh, I can't just talk about how crappy Fallout 76 is and how crappy the practices were without using it as a means to prop up Nintendo. Do you not see what you did there? You were telling me to use Fallout 76 bad stuff to prop up somebody else. Like, oh, on the flip side, Nintendo's not that great. With Nintendo in my name. Like, that is blatant Nintendo bias. And I don't want, like, I was obviously biased in anything I do, but I want it to be that blatant. Like, I can't cover everything through the lens of Nintendo like that. Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, like, Horizon Zero Dawn looks great, but it's no Breath of the Wild. Like, I can't, like, no, I can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. I need to be fair. I'm not going to cover this stuff if I'm not going to be fair and treat it the same as I would Nintendo stuff. That's not fair to what I'm covering. That's not fair to my audience. It's not fair to me to, like, slant everything to Nintendo. Like, that's not fair. It's not fair to what I'm talking about. As a standalone, you know, series that has one video a week, sure. But as, like, what I'm doing on the daily, yeah. We're speaking on Red Dead and how it exposes the limits of the... I'm not saying that you have bad ideas, but none of those ideas are like what I want to do. I want to cover other things the way I cover Nintendo. I don't want to cover those things or talk about those things as a guise to have to link it to Nintendo. You know how quickly I'm going to get burned out because I want to talk about the Google console and how excited I am about it, but then I have to find a way to tie it to Nintendo to make it a relevant video. And the titles would be so clickbait. I mean, I'm not saying that like clickbait's the worst thing in the world, but it's just, man, it'd be so forced. I feel like I'd be forcing it. Like, why can't I just talk about it and how awesome it is, or how much I don't like it? And why do I have to compare it? I get what you're saying. I'm not even saying it's a bad idea. I just don't know that's me. Like, that's what my vision is. Yeah, S. Spencer says I'd probably want to rebrand if that. And that's the thing. It'd be so different if Nintendo wasn't in my name. Like, if it was just Nate Prime. Like, wouldn't that be so much easier to just shift? You wouldn't have to think about it. You could just sprinkle things in and just see how people think, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it doesn't require you rebranding the channel. I think it's going to be very hard for me to ever connect with any other gaming fans that aren't Nintendo if I have Nintendo in the name. And I know it's still going to be an uphill struggle anyways at first, but over time, people will stop associating me as Nintendo Prime, right? I like Nate Prime. Nate Prime's a really weird name. I was just throwing that out there. Like, if I was trying to keep the NP initials, Nate Prime. Like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I actually like Nate Prime. White background. Am I in YouTube heaven? What white background? This isn't a white background. This is like a beige. I don't even know. Something like that. See, white. Those eyes on the bomb. Those are white. Or the bomb. I like Chair Prime. Am I in YouTube heaven? I don't know. Are you? Like, I have a video I'm editing right now. It's pretty forced. Well, it's not forced. It's something I wanted to talk about, but like in re-listening to my recording of it, I'm like, man, the energy's not there. I just don't care enough about that topic. But it's a Nintendo topic, and I know it'll probably get good views. It's flesh colored. There you go. That's probably a better way. Yeah, flesh colored. Primed gaming. Primed gaming. That's interesting. So gaming prime is taken. Like if I type in gaming prime, there's a whole bunch of channels. Well, I mean, none of them are big. I mean, I think the biggest one was one called Prime Gaming. That one's got 9,567 subs. Gaming Prime, there's two channels called Gaming Prime. One has 15 subs, one has 19 subs. Potentially that might mean that the Gaming Prime URL is not taken, but oh, I guess there's another Gaming Prime. This one looks... Did I make this one? No, that's not me. No. 3 Gaming Prime channels. Jeez. There's a lot of Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming. Not a very unique name, Prime is. I guess there's not a lot of Gaming Prime. There's 3 Gaming Prime channels and none of them have like any subs. And the one video... Well, this guy was making video, had put out a video a week ago. Like, do I really want to crap on him? Like, steal... Like, I'm not really stealing it. I don't know. This guy put out a video 3 hours ago, but only got 2 views. And Gaming Prime does make a lot of sense for what I want to do, but I don't know. Or VG Prime. What's, how many VG Primes are there? There are 0 VG Prime YouTube channels. Initials for Video Game Prime. So, VG Prime's a possibility if I rebranded. I don't know if that makes any sense, though. Ninty Prime is a cool name. Ninty. Again, though, it's still associated to Nintendo. Everyone knows Ninty as a Nintendo thing. I found you because of the Nintendo name. I was not searching for gaming channels. I was searching for Nintendo channels. Prime Gaming with Nate. Yeah, even if I did rebrand, I don't even know what I would call it. Because I want to keep Prime in the name, but I want it to reference all of video games. I mean, I know Nate Prime is probably more unique. Like, I don't want to say that as there's a Nate Prime channel. And there is a Nate Prime channel, but it's got nothing. I hope it's not someone's name. Want the name? Next Gen Gaming, HD Analysis, Pixels and Stories, Graphic Breakdowns. Next Gen Gaming. That's got to be a channel. Next Gen, that has to be a channel. That has to be a channel. Next Gen Gaming. There's no way that that's not a channel. No way. There is not a channel called Next Gen Gaming. You got to be kidding me. That is such like a brilliant name to call a channel. Because once you have a following, your channel will show up in search engines as Next Gen Gaming next to all of the videos talking about Next Gen. Right? I mean, I can't believe that there's not a Next Gen Gaming channel. Nintendo Nate. Again, Nintendo reference. I mean, I could just make it my name like my other channel is. I wonder if people would react better to it if I just made it my name. Because not everyone sees it. But at the end of every video, what do I say? I am Nathaniel Rufflejance from Nintendo Prime. Would people be mad if I just called it my name? I obviously am not shying away from using my real name. I can even shorten it to Nate Chance or something. Nintendo Prime. That sounds like a name I would have came up with back in high school. Nintendo Prime, if YouTube was a thing back then. I could call it my old gamer tag. Just call it Airall. That's probably a YouTube name. Let me see. I bet you that's a YouTube name. There's a roll, but no Airall. That was my gamer tag. Was Airall. This. I'll type it out. That was my gamer tag. Wasn't like anything special. It was just that. Period. Nothing else. Used it as my name in a lot of games. Did I see the physical edition of the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition? No, I have not. Yeah, no one has next gen gaming. Yeah, I know. Prime. I can't show that one, Robert, but it's a nice idea. That would definitely get the channel banned. It's okay, man. Yeah, I know. I'm surprised there's not a channel named Next Gen Gaming. That sounds like a viral kind of channel that can get a lot of attention. But I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, my nickname was Janskin. But do I really want to go by Janskin? I haven't gone by Janskin since I was a kid. How's it going, Janskin? There is a channel called Next Gen Gaming. I'm not seeing it in search, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just not showing up in my search. Lag Monster Prime. I'm actually curious. What happens if I type my name into Hey, you guys want to you Let's watch this together. My channel's about to get copyright claim. We're about to watch me doing some karaoke. There's a video of me doing karaoke. I didn't know that she uploaded. I know who uploaded it. I didn't know she uploaded this. Hold on. I can't believe that this is even on the internet. Get ready to laugh. We're kicking it out, man. We're bringing back some Nate out partying. Come on. Come on. This is going to be bad. This is not going to be good. This is back in 2013. No ads on it, right? I bet you this is Backstreet Boys. I guarantee you this is Backstreet Boys. Guaranteed. Guaranteed this is Backstreet Boys. I think this was like, yeah, this was a karaoke contest. I bet you I sound like crap. I was drunk. I was so drunk for this. Let me, kids, don't drink. Don't drink and sing. Never goes well. Where's my editor? Here it is. Let's display capture this up. What? I gotta go this way. Full screen it. I still have that shirt and I do not fit in it. This is really terrible. Can't believe for watching this right now.
I don't think she was here for this
I think I was like 10 shots deep at this point. And I did some hard stuff. Totally recorded on the phone. Recording. Not a bad cover. Okay, never mind. Finished in third place. This is hilarious. How long is it? Yeah, it's the full song. I get on my knees. I went on my knees. I was getting into it. I was getting into it. Am I gonna lay down? Hold on, do I flip up? I thought for sure I was going to flip up. I know it was a karaoke thing where I did some break dancing. Wasn't that note beautiful? I knew it was coming. I'm like, I remember being mad at myself. I remember singing this. It must not have been too far gone. I was so mad at myself after that. There I am. See, I'm just like, I can't believe I just messed that all up. I'm so mad. That's when I realized I blew it. I realized I blew it. Because there was judges. I realized I blew it. I should have went with a safer song. That was a little better. That was a little better. I was trying to redeem myself with a little falsetto. I had already lost at that point. How bad do I push it in? Yeah, I blew my voice. 13 views. Any comments? No comments. I love karaoke. I don't even care if I sound good or not. I just like karaoke. I just typed in my name in Google. I was just wondering if anything popped up. And that was just Nate Jans. That's not like my... That's what I go by, but that's not my actual name. Then my channel pops up. And then just Nintendo Prime stuff. Yeah. As expected. Alright. Well, that was a little fun trip down memory lane for a moment. From you look so sad, that posture. Which one? This the posture I'm in now? Or the posture, in the video, I knew by the end I blew it. Right after I did that one high note, and I was so off, and I knew I was off. I blew it. I needed to nail that note if I wanted a chance to move on to the finals. And I knew it. Oh, I was so mad. I might have trained for that one. I had 3 songs I was debating between that, and I went with what I thought was a safe song, but I forgot about some of the high notes. Should have went with some Eminem rap or something. Check out the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition on stream. Why? I might have seen it. I know I said I didn't, but... Oh, this is today. I haven't seen it here. I mean, a bunch of art stuff. So you get... Here, just show real quick. So you get... a metal brooch with a display stand, a wall hook, a dual-pronged fastener, 14-page comic book, gift box-style case with gold foil filigree, clear print sleeve, gold foil art print set, physical copy of the game. Nintendo Switch copies include the bonus cleaning cloth. Ooh. I mean, it looks cool. Like any other collector's edition. I mean, it's cool because it's an indie game too. But who's doing this one? I mean, like, who's publishing it? Because there's that one studio that just makes collector's editions out of indie games. I have the most anonymous name possible, Robert Smith, right? When I Google my name, nothing. When I Google my gamer tag, I get a bunch of results. What are the series? Oh, dude, Googling my name is different. Googling my name, you come up with a whole bunch of stuff. Hold on. Both ways that my name came up. There's my Twitter. There's my author page. At least my first two. Oh, there's the... Why is Bucks Nation Twitter popping up? That's weird. I never worked for Bucks Nation. My MySpace page comes up. Some threads I made at Zelda Universe back in the day. Nate's new computer for Zelda Informer. Lots of Zelda Informer stuff. Metroid Wiki. Nothing too bad popping out. Gamnesia. So proof I did all this stuff. Now I have to type in my full name though. I've not Googled myself in so long. Let's try with and without the hyphen. Tender Prime. My LinkedIn profile, which is not updated. It still says I work at Zelda Informer at Kaibu. Still says I live in Eau Claire. This hasn't been updated in a long time. I should probably log in and update my LinkedIn here eventually. Metroid Wiki. I'm still linked. The Daily Motion account still has my name on it. Yes. 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 Oh, there's a Daily Motion account with my name. It's got 53,000 views on over 25 videos. All of them are for Zelda Informer. I got the entire Zelda cartoon series uploaded on this account. Because that's legal. My YouTube channels pop up. Oh. This place is trying to give away my phone number. View my contact info. It's free. No way, you're gonna charge me. Hold on. I want to know if my contact, if it was actually on here, on this website, or if it's one of those sites that charges you money and you get nothing. No, I don't care about that. I want to see if you have my address. I'm not verifying my phone number. No. God, I got to give you my phone number. I'm guessing it's a scam then. Because all the info they have here is right off of my LinkedIn profile. So data mining my LinkedIn profile doesn't have any information. So wow. I mean, if you Google my full name, guys, you can find my old address. Seriously. I'll even tell you it straight up. 808 McCumber Street, Apartment 6, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. It's already right there publicly. Literally just Google my name and there it is. And you'll find a whole bunch of people related to me too. You'll see Yulia in there. You'll see my parents, my cousins. Kind of creepy what you can find on the internet just by looking people's names up. Well, has my old phone number too. Does not have my current phone number. Thank God. It's got a bunch of my email addresses, but none of them are my main email address, so that doesn't matter. Man, it's got like all my old addresses. Not all of them, a lot of them. Jeez. Man. Crazy what's out there on the internet. I never made my address public anywhere. I wonder how they got a hold of all that. Not even in the phone book. It's crazy, though. I mean, I'm not surprised. You can never be surprised. My Patreon shows up when I search my real name. Anyway, a bunch of Zelda Informer stuff. Let me see. Hey, I wish my name was more common, right? It'd be impossible to find anything then when my name isn't common. It's unique. I've been watching on my TV since the stream started, but I was using my phone for something, so I couldn't comment. What's up, Ariel? Any chance you can be like Dreamcast guy? I mean, be everything and not limited to one console. I think it works for a guy like Dreamcast guy though, because the Dreamcast isn't relevant anymore, right? So like if Nintendo went under and wasn't relevant anymore, sure it could work. But like the Dreamcast is a dead system from a company that doesn't make consoles anymore. It's kind of like RGT, like it's about retro gaming, but he could talk about whatever because it's RGT. It doesn't specifically say retro gaming. It's initial RGT. So like Dreamcast guy, it doesn't have to just be about Dreamcast. Dreamcast isn't relevant anymore. I mean, maybe don't tell him that. Are you checking out Rico for the Switch? No, I haven't even heard of Rico. I love the Switch content. Don't change. If I Google my full name, I'm all that comes up. I'm the only person with your name. Nice. Yeah, I'm the only person with the Rumful chance, that's for sure. I mean, mostly what pops up is just all my stuff that I've done online. Like all my Zelda Informer stuff. Operation Moonfall. But, it's the internet, though. It's not hard to find anyone's address. Apparently, if I want to look at my parents' address, I should just type their names in. Jeez. Everything's here. Because I don't even know my parents' address off the top of my head. I mean, I know where they live. I just don't know their address. Because they built a new house. Thoughts on Glenn Big Baby Davis making an NBA return with the Bucks? Glenn Davis ain't coming back. Get out of here. You got to be yanking my chain. There's no way he's coming back. Yeah, no. Dude, he paid a fine in February to avoid going to jail. Yeah, no. He faces 7 years in prison. So yeah, I'm not too worried about him coming to the Bucs. What other series do you think that Mario can cross over with after Sonic and the Rabbids, not including Smash Bros? I mean, obviously Rayman's a nice easy jump. Anything cartoony. I mean, Ukulele, Banjo-Kazooie, if Microsoft wants to work together. I don't know. Google Gaming. YouTube will promote because they want someone to promote their next console. Google Gaming. So I just try to guess the name of the Google Gaming console and just try to name my channel of it right now. Hey, Nate, it's been a while. I've been off YouTube to focus on my job and family. Hope you're doing well. That's all right, Brandon. I hope you're doing well, too. Final Boss Gaming, Google Prime, Mario Resident Evil. Man, I don't know what I would rebrand to if I did rebrand. I just don't know. I honestly don't know. Just checking my phone here. Nothing. Flood warnings. It is raining like crazy out right now. Text me. See if she's working till 10. Gaming Prime, Google Human, Mario and Luigi, Googleopoly. You're going to need a raft. The name transcends the channel. I mean, Gaming Prime makes a lot of sense, of course. I mean, there are other Gaming Prime channels, but they're really dinky. And they don't release videos that often. So it does make a lot of sense to call myself Gaming Prime, but I don't know. Speaking of the Bucks earlier, are they winning? Oh, hey, Odell Beckham Jr. was traded from the Giants to the Browns. Not that anyone cares, but that's the thing that happened today. That's the way it goes. Bum, 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 bum. Well, I think that's going to be it. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I mean, there's things I could talk about, but like the things I really want to talk about in this moment. I mean, if there's any big topics that come up, I would kind of just want to make a video of it and just see what happens. Bum, 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 bum. So when are we going to see this big change to your channel? Beats me. I don't know if I'm going to start with the rebrand. I might hold off. I might just test the waters with a few videos just to see how my fans react. Maybe get them used to it. So if I do rebrand, it's not like a system shock to everyone, right? There's also a game series called System Shock. Well, we'll see. Heck, maybe it'll start tonight. Maybe I'll find a topic I already want to talk about. Is that chair green and black? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Which are the colors of the Gobstoppers, which is my old... I know it's a candy, but it's also my old name of my roller share-ball team back in the day. You should cover the PS Vita. The Vita's dead now. They're done. They're not even making it anymore. Should go cover the PS Vita. Should go cover a dying console. Because you can do it. Go cover a dying console. That's how we handle things around here. We cover things that are no longer relevant. I don't like it, but I'll still follow. What's the best parenting advice you can give? Don't have any kids. And you want advice? Don't have kids. You don't got to worry about it. Every kid is different, so can't really give advice without meeting the kid. So just don't have it, and you got to worry about it. It's literally every kid is different. So I mean, I have 3 children. All 3 of them are very different from each other. So Levita still has a diehard cult niche audience, though. Well, sure. Orphan Prime. What's the best part of having kids? Their innocence. So watching like the joy they have in some of the simplest things. Like, I can't remember the last time that I could pick up a rock outside and just have fun for like hours on end with just a rock. And, like, there's this simplicity to when you're watching kids or when you're raising kids. Like, life feels so complex at times when you're an adult. That watching these children go through all these simple joys in life, it's kind of magical, really, right? It also, like, helps put life in perspective of, like, what's really important. When they're gone, jeez. All right. Well, I'm going to figure out what video I want to put up tonight, or if I'm going to finish up the video I was already working on. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. And, yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't know when my next live stream is going to be. They're still kind of sporadic. Probably tomorrow night, but I'm not 100% for sure. Actually, tomorrow night is Wednesday, yeah. So I think there'll be one tomorrow night. Thursday's the podcast. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for all your support. Yeah. I think I'll have there will be a new video coming out tonight. I'm just not sure if it's going to be the one I'm already working on or if it's going to be a new one because maybe I'll get out some news that's not Nintendo. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Peace.